Girl, listen.
Breastfeeding is something we expect to come very naturally to all new moms. And sometimes we can cringe at the thought of a mom not being able to, or just not wanting to breastfeed her child. But the many struggles that women experience and face while breastfeeding can leave you absolutely shocked. From producing too much milk, to not producing enough milk, to engorgement and the pain, sore nipples and saggy breast, and so on. The list is endless. Today, I'm going to be talking to some really cool moms about breastfeeding, the chronicles, and so on. You're watching We Got This Africa. My name is Naa Ashorkor. You're welcome.
We got this.
If you're into content production for digital or TV, say hello to the MX24 Studios. We're the prime location for your music video shoots, live productions, TV shows, and more. From state-of-the-art equipment to a very skilled production team, we've got you covered. Step into our modern and spacious studio with a changeable lighting system and foolproof sound. Our touchscreen studio projection monitors come with other features, including Wi-Fi connection, screen mirroring, and a remote workspace mode. Take advantage of our high-quality cameras to shoot in 4K and a variety of the best lighting equipment guaranteed to put life into your sets. Locate us on the first floor of the Silicon House building off the Boundary Road, East Legon. Give us a call on 024-235-5956 or 054-454-8612. You can also email us at info@mx24gh.com.
We got this.
You're watching We Got This Africa, and today I am hanging out with Elikem and Aligina. They're moms, and we are sharing our breastfeeding chronicles. Now, I had some real trouble breastfeeding both of my children. I don't know why, but I feel that I had a C-section for both of my kids, and I feel like that might have contributed to my delay in production of breast milk. Yeah. I don't know if that's accurate, but did you have any troubles breastfeeding your children?
Not at all.
Zero.
I always say I'm the luckiest mom.
Wow.
Everything was just, it wasn't too much of milk, it wasn't too low, so it was just normal and perfectly okay.
So did you do exclusive or?
No, just 3 months.
3 months exclusive?
Yes.
Or you were supporting with
3 months
formula?
exclusive.
Okay.
Because that's what my mom told me she did with me, so I was comfortable with that.
So no water and all that stuff?
No.
I see. Good for you. So after the 3 months exclusive, did you continue to breastfeed while supporting with other
for 8 months.
Yes. For both of your kids?
Yes, yeah, 3 actually.
Oh, 3?
Yes.
So you both have 3 kids?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I have 2. I see. All right. So did you have any trouble?
Yes, like you said, I had a C-section
for
all 3 kids. So the breast milk delays a bit. You know, it comes on like the 3rd, 4th day when you're recovering. So for the first 4 days, they had to do formula. But after my milk started coming, and it wasn't even much, it was really little.
Scanty,
yeah. So for my first child, I had to support with formula. But after that one, I was like, nah, I have to do the exclusive for the next baby.
Why?
Well, I just felt like the breast milk makes the baby stronger. You know, they have less infections, they fall sick less often. So I really wanted to do the whole 6 months.
It's actually what's recommended for children.
Yeah. So I was kind of feeling bad that I couldn't do the whole, 6 months.
Was anyone guilt-tripping you?
Oh, yes, a lot of people.
Who?
There are lots of doctors around me, so it's like, 6 months exclusive is the best.
Yes, which is
they
true.
encourage you to do it. So sometimes it's not that they are guilt-tripping you, it's just you guilt-tripping yourself.
Yeah.
That's feeling bad that you can't go the whole 6 months. But then, whether you breastfeed or you formula feed, I think it's good either way. You just do you.
Yeah, yeah. By the time I woke up from my C-section sleep, my baby had already been fed.
Yeah.
And it was not my breast milk. Just he had eaten and he was asleep. And they fed him formula.
Yeah.
So that's how they started him off, with formula, with a bottle.
Yeah.
So I think on the second day, I was able to produce the first breast milk. What do they call it? Colostrum or something?
Colostrum, yeah.
What's it called?
Colostrum.
Colostrum, right.
Yeah.
So it was on the second day, I was able to produce the first breast milk. And I was so happy, but it didn't come easy. Like I had to get a lactation consultant who actually had to come and express and show me how to do it and hold the baby into my armpits and the whole thing. But I used to think that, you know, when you have the baby, you just, put the baby and just, the breast milk will start entering the child's mouth. But there's a whole science to it.
Yes, there is.
And don't get me started on sore nipples. Like, we'll get there. but I remember after I had my son, I was looking online for solutions for breast milk because I wasn't really producing as much as I ought to. But because he had been started off with formula, I also started giving him formula. Another thing is that, so I had my second child early, so he was premature. So he was giving fortified breast milk. So even though I was giving him breast milk, they had to fortify it. So they had to add, I've forgotten what it's called. So they had to add some kind of formula to it for him. So the thing is, I just had to do formula breast milk the whole time. I was producing just enough for half of a feed, and then the remaining half, I'd have to give them breast milk. But I have a lot of friends who have told me about their struggles with breastfeeding. So when I hear people like you say that, you had a smooth, I'm like, did you do anything special? Did you drink all the mashke and abenquai and all that?
Nothing special. The only problem I had was sore
nipples.
Yeah, sore nipples. Yeah. All the time. And I was in school at that time. So I had to always pump it before going to school. So you be pumping, your nipple is hurting with blood sometimes coming out, but you have to pump it for the baby before you can leave for school. Yeah, that was the only problem. But I had enough milk for her.
So did you do like the traditional things there? Did you drink
a lot of soup actually. A lot of soup. Light soup. My mom would give, a whole big bowl of light soup every morning. That it will produce a lot of the breast milk for me. Yeah.
So you believe that it actually works?
Yes.
Does it work?
Yes, it does. For me, yes. I noticed that it works.
I know about abenquai, and then they add the fufu. Yeah. Very large
will
sizes
give me
of
small fufu, but a lot of
milk.
Soup. The soup.
A lot of soup.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, I remember that.
So you are some kind of a lactation consultant now, right?
Yeah, sort of.
So first tell us if you believe that the milk works, and then tell us about your line.
Okay, so you mean the mashke and stuff?
Yeah, the local things they encourage us to do.
For me, it didn't work. It didn't work. So that's what led me. I had the mashke. I mean, they made a whole pot of abenquai for me, expecting me to drink all, and I'm not really a soup person, so it was really difficult for me to take. So the whole mashke, taking the banku with the palm nut soup and all of that, I wasn't really for that. So naturally, I don't really even eat much. So the breast milk was really scanty. So that's what led me to start reading online and seeing what I can take to increase the production.
What did you find?
Yeah, so well, one interesting thing I found was non-alcoholic beer. Oh. Yes, it's
I
surprising.
Didn't even know there's non-alcoholic beer. So how is it beer? Like ginger beer?
No, well, they make it like how they make beer, but then it doesn't have the alcohol in it.
I see.
Yeah.
You know about non-alcoholic beer?
So actually outside, that's what they give the new moms to take to get breast milk.
Okay.
So then, my mom got me a few, so that's what actually started me going. But then, the issue with beer, it gives you a big belly. Yeah. So then, bloating. So before I realized you start bloating, I was like, nah, I can't go down this road. So then I started looking for other avenues of increasing the milk supply. And that's how I came by these things.
Milkmaid! So I have a whole milkmaid story, which I'll share in a moment. But what do you put in these? How do they help us produce breast milk? Like, did it actually help you?
Yes, it does.
Okay,
it
explain.
Really does.
Explain how you came by your formula and and how it actually helps breast milk production.
Okay, so the thing about oats is that oats is something that really helps milk production.
Oats.
Okay. It's a non-galactagogue. Those are like foods that you take that increase milk production. So there's spinach, there's oats, there's flaxseed, there's chia seeds.
Okay.
So I combine all of these things into what you see. So the cookies are oats, there's flaxseed, there's chia seeds, there's a lot of different stuff that help increase the milk production. So it's nothing fancy.
Well, it looks really fancy. It looks really fancy.
They're just things you can find in your house.
Okay. And then, so when you eat this, you begin to produce breast milk.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. When I first saw Milkmaid online, I was like, Milkmaid. First of all, it looks really fancy. I didn't even think it was local. So, not that local things are fancy, but you know, it just kind of looked like, it looked really well done. So good job. And then she sent me a box. So I used to make the cocoa, and then everybody in my household used to make it too, by the way. But then I found that I actually started producing more breast milk. Yeah. Like, it just like that. And I could pump enough to go, and I was in school too, and I was working, and I was doing a whole bunch of things. I could pump enough to live with baby and family, and then go on with my, about my day until I come back. So it actually does work. And I did try the local remedies, but it didn't work for me. But I know it works well. It worked for you.
Soup, and then cocoa, the white cocoa.
The white cocoa.
Yes, to work.
Did you like the light soup? Is it normal light soup?
Yeah, normal light soup with salmon. She used to give me salmon and amane. The hard one.
Dry fish.
Yes. But actually salmon also helps with milk production. So there are little things that go, and palm oil also helps. The palm fruit. So there are little things that go into it. Unfortunately, it comes with so many calories. If only you could take out the good stuff and leave out the fatty stuff.
The calories.
Exactly.
So here's the thing. When you have a baby in Ghana and then you're eating all the abenkwa and the fufu, people start giving you side eye like, because you had a baby, you think you should be eating by heart. Yeah. Because you had a baby, you want to just keep eating and you're going to grow fat. So that's another thing that would affect your willingness to continue to eat the things that will help with your milk supply. Because I know that I had that problem. Because my mother actually went all out and she was trying to keep giving me food. And I'll be like, no. Because I'm going to get really fat. I just have to sleep enough, eat, regular, like enough, and I'll be fine. But my mother won't have it, especially when I was struggling with. She used to pump me with all the food. But the truth is, it actually didn't.
It didn't work.
It didn't work for me. Sometimes I think it depends on you. But there are more people it works for than like people that people it doesn't work for. But Milkmaid really saved me. So so cheers, like big ups to you and your team. Now I'd like us to talk about the art of breastfeeding itself and just our country and our society and how people feel when you whip up your breast in the middle of church service to give your child milk. Because in a lot of our churches, when you have a baby, aside a baby crying, sometimes you have to sit at the back, back, because whipping out your breast during service will be a distraction for people and things like that. I don't know, man. I don't know how you guys feel about it, or if you've had any such experience. But I would really like to know. You're watching We Got This Africa. We're talking breastfeeding, and we've got some experiences to share. Stay tuned.
We got this.
Have you ever wanted a fun day out with your family without compromising on the experience? This Easter Monday, families, church groups, corporate brands, music brands, choirs, get ready for the biggest Jolly Jamboree experience as Jeanette Services presents the maiden edition of Family Fest. It's going to be a day of captivating entertainment, music, fashion, games, and food with lots of musical performances by Joe Mettil, Celestine Donko, Akese Brimpong, and many more. Date Monday, 18th of April 2022. Venue Enclave Gardens, East Legon, 10 a.m. sharp. Rate 50 cedis for adults and 20 for kids, plus free giveaways. For family packages, ticket reservations, sponsorship, and stands, call 0248 810 396. This event is powered by 33.19, official media partner, MX24 TV.
We got this.
You probably had this experience on a bus in Ghana, you know, in Trotro and so on, where there's a baby crying at the back and then some man in front of him, Mommy, you know, phone on a fama kwalane. Those experiences can be very uncomfortable sometimes for moms on buses and in public places who are not quite comfortable with breastfeeding their children in public. What are your thoughts on it? My guests, Elikem and Aligina, will share. I honestly find it very uncomfortable.
Okay.
Not because I find it uncomfortable, but because I've had some experiences where people thought it was inappropriate. And when you're a new mom, you have a lot of insecurities.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on with you. There's so much going on with you. So sometimes when people say things, it just gets to you. And then, because I remember once, I was in a bank to breastfeed my child. And at that time, I wasn't even producing breast milk at all.
Yeah.
So I was, you know, I was giving the child formula. And I tried to feed the child formula. And then some man in the bank thought he should advise me on the fact that I shouldn't be giving the child formula. I should give, what am I using the breast for? I should give it to the child. And this was the time when I wasn't even producing any milk at all. And I was once in a meeting, a staff meeting, and I had to bring my child in because it was an impromptu staff meeting, and I came with my baby. And I was feeding the child express breast milk from the bottle. And one of the women in the office said, "Inga, me no have 4 of you." In front of everybody. Imagine. And we were the only women in the meeting, by the way. The rest of the people in the meeting were men. It was absolutely embarrassing for me, and that sort of affected me. So I just would go back to my car and feed my child. Like, I will not get out of my car until my child is fed and full before I come out, because I felt that people will say things that might make me feel like a bad mother or might make me just uncomfortable. Did you guys have any such experiences?
Me personally, no. Anywhere I could breastfeed. In front of my lecturer, I could breastfeed. Okay. You know, in church, I could breastfeed. Anywhere.
Did you feel like you need to cover up?
No.
Okay.
Never.
Okay. How about you?
Well, I think I'm a bit more shy, so then I always had a breastfeeding cover. But then I realized my baby didn't like it, so you'd cover the baby and then remove it. And expose like everything, so you have to keep battling. But then, I mean, it's a bit uncomfortable breastfeeding in public, you know, when you have to do the whole, especially if you're not wearing something that's breastfeeding
you have to change your whole wardrobe.
I'm telling you.
You have to have bottoms in front.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you wear a dress that doesn't have bottoms in front, it means you have to take off your entire, or sometimes you have to lift up the entire dress to feed the child. So when you have children and you start breastfeeding, you have to change your wardrobe, because now you have to wear 2 pieces or outfits that you can open in the front. And these are the things you don't even think about before you. Like,
they don't tell you all this stuff.
No, who's going to tell you? So do you tell people that, look, when you visit a new mom, when you're buying things for the baby, do you ever think that you should buy something for the mom that will help her in breastfeeding, for example?
No, I didn't used to until I started having those challenges. And then that's why I even thought of this as a gift for a new mom, you know, because we never think of the mom, we only think of the baby. But if the mom is not happy, if the mom is not producing enough milk, if she's stressed, it affects the baby, it affects the husband, it affects the other kids.
Did you find that not being able to produce a breast milk brought like stress or tension into your life?
Yes, it did. It did. And it happened with my second. You know, the first child, you're all relaxed, you're happy. Everything, you know, it's just smooth. You and your baby. But with the second child, you know, you're breastfeeding. That's why you say, Mommy, I have poo-poo. Or, you know, you're actually, you know, multitasking.
It's no longer
exactly. It's not
breast,
just on the baby. So then it also reduces your milk supply because you're stressed. And you're thinking of, what will this one eat? Or you're breastfeeding and you're feeding at the same time, you know, so it just totally messes up with your milk supply.
You're breastfeeding and feeding another person and cooking dinner. So you're like this, with it's like feeding this one, and then
staring.
You know, I have some pictures, like my sisters took weird pictures of me like that, or pictures of me like breastfeeding this child and carrying this one at the back, and then trying to finish my exam. you know, at home. So it's it's tough. It's tough. You know what I think about things like this? I think we should really cut breastfeeding mothers some slack. When you go out, do you find that like you need to come back home in time, especially when you're what do you call it, pumping?
Yes, especially where your breast begins to, you know, feel hard, and all that.
And you have so much milk.
Yes, I have to go back home.
I remember many times in school, I was also in school, right? And then during a lecture, I would leave the lecture hall, go and sit in my car and pump for an hour and come back. In fact, during the filming of one of the films I did recently, Perfect Picture 10 years later, I was breastfeeding my child then. And sometimes we'll be on set for so long. During a break, I'll go and sit in my car, pump my breast milk, pour it out, because you can't use it for anything if you're out. You have to put it in the fridge immediately. So I'll pump, like, you know, you're in clothes for the shoot. I'll go sit in my car, remove the whole thing, pump, throw the milk away, redress up, rush back on the set, and then act like everything is all everything. Yeah, we're good. Everything is fine, and everything is great. It's not easy.
It's not.
Like, I'm feeling quite emotional right now. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. But did you get support from people in your life?
Yes, my husband was very supportive.
Okay.
So he really helped me out to, you know, with the cookies and everything. Like,
he bakes with you?
No, but then he helps me, like, you know, quality check. Is it nice? Is it good? Should I add something? You know, and even giving me space, because when I'm breastfeeding like the second or the third child, he can take the other two out so that I can be relaxed and breastfeed, because I can't breastfeed when I'm stressed. You know, I'm shouting, get down, stop that. And then the baby also keeps turning, because whenever you shout, then she turns around and it's like, you know. So the support is really good and it's really necessary.
It's something that we cannot say enough. And you know, because it feels like a very natural thing. I mean, you had it natural, right?
Yes.
Did you need support from people in your life?
My mom was there, my sister was there, my auntie was there, so everything was kind of smooth for me. That is why I had them like,
so
you're like
ideal. You're like the ideal mom.
I had them like quick. The three, the is just small. You know, because I had all that support around me, so I decided why not take advantage of that.
I know, that's exactly what I did. I hope my sisters aren't watching. but you know, when you're breastfeeding and the breast milk is coming, everything is fine. That's when the child thinks they should do acrobatics. Like, they don't just lie down and just drink the thing. That's when they will stand and then pull your nipple with them, so they're like trying to upside down. Sometimes you see the pictures and you're like, oh my god, what is this child thinking? Like, it's so true. Your children do that.
I remember my son. I'll be driving and he'll be at the back of the seat and then he'll hold my breast, like
trying to get it to your armpit. Trying to get it to your armpit. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I see some of those pictures on social media and I'm like, this is so
real.
true. But it's like you don't see these things before yours like comes along. And they want the nipple to go with them. Like,
exactly.
Like breastfeeding, especially when they start crawling. They'll be breastfeeding and then they want to get up
something
and go and pick something else. But then they want to go with the breast.
Especially when they are teething and then they start biting.
And the pain. Breastfeeding can be painful.
It is painful. I had mastitis and I think that was even more painful than the CS pain. I thought I was dying because I could feel my breast hot. You know, it was hot, it was engorged. My mom had to come and like massage it
with hot water.
With hot water. I had to dip it in hot water. Oh, it was terrible. It's the worst pain I've ever experienced. I was in tears the whole time.
How long was it for?
It was for like 3 days.
Oof.
It was for 3 days. It started and it stopped on the 3rd day. I take antibiotics. I had to, you know, there was pus in it, so I had to squeeze out everything. Oh goodness, I don't even want to think. It's an emotional moment. Seriously, it's the most painful thing ever.
It's not fun.
Not at all. And they don't tell you all these things. I mean,
they don't tell you. Breastfeeding can be painful, even when you don't have mastitis. Even when everything is fine and the baby is just not latching properly. And they're just probably just on the nipple, you know, because they have to get the whole thing. And so even when the baby doesn't latch properly, that's when you get sores. And then they still want to suck, right? Because they're hungry. And then you are in so much pain. And I've seen mothers cry while breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Charlie, like, shout outs to all moms that are breastfeeding right now. And if you feel pain, like we feel your pain, and people don't know these things, and so when moms are struggling to breastfeed, they think that they are probably just trying to save their boobs so their boobs are perky, because some people want to save their boobs so their boobs are perky, because breastfeeding can help sag your breast very quickly. So people just want to save their boobs so their boobs are perky, and we can judge them all we want, but Charlie, breastfeeding is not for the faint-hearted. Even when it's so smooth and you're producing the milk, even the time to breastfeed, even the care, like your self-care.
It's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job. And did you hear any myths about breastfeeding before you started?
Yeah, that was easy. That's the biggest myth for me, but it seems to be easy for you. So I guess it's not really a myth.
Yeah, it's not really a myth for everyone. But did you hear that will make you lose weight so fast? Like you lose all the pregnancy weight if you breastfeed. You didn't hear that? Did you hear that?
It went for me for the first two, but for this third one, it's not working at all. So I guess it's different.
It's different for every child. They say when you're breastfeeding, your body works overtime to produce the milk. So because your body is like working, you're burning calories. You burn calories, and so you lose the weight. Whoa. But the thing is that because you're also eating to support the breastfeeding, even though you're burning the calories, you're replacing them and reintroducing the lost calories with your milk coin.
Yes.
So sometimes, and the thing is when you're breastfeeding, you eat a lot.
Yes.
You guys eat a lot, and so that also kind of replaces the calories that you burn by producing the breast milk. And also, what did I hear? Myths about breastfeeding, that if you breastfeed with your baby lying down, your breast will sag.
Oh, really? Haven't heard that.
Yeah, like you have to sit up and breastfeed them because because it's the babies like to sleep, while feeding. Did you have that?
No, never heard that.
Charlie, you guys, like,
sometimes
a very perfect.
Sometimes I forget that I'm a mom, actually.
No way.
Sometimes
That's
I forget.
not possible.
Yes. Sometimes I forget because I think I had the kids quite early.
How old were you?
21. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and the first one is 13 now.
Wow.
What?
13. Yes.
Wow.
The second
up,
is
like you.
12, and then the last is 8. She'll be 9.
Okay. Okay.
She'll be 9 this month, actually.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Go you. So we're still struggling with breastfeeding and toddlers and all of that. So it'll get to a time where you forget your kids.
Well, I see them.
Okay. I see. I'm looking forward to that time.
Me too.
Because all the time you're on the clock, like,
wait.
I mean,
like, what's happening to them right now? What are they eating? Are they causing trouble where they are? And
are they stressing grandma?
Yeah, I know. I bet that's what you're thinking right now.
That's all I'm thinking about.
And you keep checking to see if grandma has called you. But thank God for grandmas and thank God for a support system because new moms need that.
Yeah.
And if you don't have it, it can drive you crazy.
Yeah.
It can drive you crazy. If you're wondering what to do with your struggles with breastfeeding, we have 2 moms here, 3 moms here who've been there, done that. You're watching We Got This Africa. We'll be right back.
We got this.
Have you ever wanted a fun day out with your family without compromising on the experience? This Easter Monday, families, chat groups, corporate brands, music brands, choirs, get ready for the biggest Jolly Jamboree experience as Jeanette Services presents the maiden edition of Family Fest. It's going to be a day of captivating entertainment, music, fashion, games, and food with lots of musical performances by Joe Mettil, Celestine Donko, Akese Brimpong, and many more. Date Monday, 18th of April 2022. Venue Enclave Gardens, East Legon, 10 a.m. sharp. Rate 50 cedis for adults and 20 for kids plus free giveaways. For family packages, ticket reservations, sponsorship, and stands, call 0248 810 396. This event is powered by 33.19, official media partner, MX24 TV.
Can you feel over your face? We got this. Can you feel over your face?
So exclusive breastfeeding is recommended by pediatricians, is best for your child, and we know that all moms want what's best for their children. But sometimes exclusive breastfeeding is just not possible with all new moms. And sometimes new moms just beat themselves up and feel very inadequate when they are unable to do it. But the truth is, not all of us have it easy, and not all of us are able to do the exclusive best practice. Today, I'm talking to Elikim and Ali Gina, who's had a very smooth ride, and I'm down low hating on her right now for how cool it's been. But still on the myths on breastfeeding, did you guys hear about it being a good form of contraception?
Yeah. And it worked for me.
It worked for you?
Yeah.
So you did not get pregnant because you were still breastfeeding?
Yeah. It actually worked that exact way.
Okay.
So I usually breastfeed till 18 months, then I stop. And when I stop at 18 months, my period returns.
Okay.
So for that whole 18 months, nothing.
Okay.
But I know some people who have this like 2 months, 3 months after birth.
I did.
Yeah. But then mine always stays off till I finish breastfeeding. So
I see.
I guess it works for me.
Yeah, I heard about that. Well, I was actually told by my obstetrician that, you know, when you breastfeed exclusively, you know something about the hormones, and the same hormones that are supposed to do this, do that. So while you breastfeed, you cannot get pregnant. But I was breastfeeding all right, and I think I could get pregnant because I started ovulating, I started having my period and everything. Everything just went back to factory settings. And I was breastfeeding, but then I wasn't exclusive breastfeeding. I should say that. I was breastfeeding and using formula side by side. Did you hear about the contraception bit?
No.
So you had to use regular contraception while you were breastfeeding?
No, I didn't use any. That's why I got pregnant when my baby was.
Okay, now it all makes sense. So what's the age difference between your first and second?
Less than a year.
Less than a year.
Yes.
But I hear that's also really cool. Was it cool for you?
Yeah, it was okay.
Something twins? What do you call it?
Dutch
Anybody
twins.
know something? Dutch twins.
Yeah, Dutch twins.
Dutch twins. I have a friend who has kids that close, and they're like twins actually.
Okay.
It's cool when they are growing.
Yes.
But while they're still little,
Yeah.
and everyone wants mommy because they're both babies.
Exactly.
And they both want mommy, it can be tough. Was it tough for you?
Not really. Like I said, my
because
mom
you
was
had
there.
so much help.
Yes,
I think the number one trick to having a smooth postpartum period is having help.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's because, and you know, when you have help, it really makes everything smoother, and it gives you time to be able to bond with the child. And talking of bonding, even though breastfeeding can be really hard, it's sometimes the only time you can really have personal bonding time with your baby.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're breastfeeding them, that's the time they look at you.
Yeah.
You know?
And they play with your face and
and they touch your face, and you know, it makes all of the sleepless nights and all the hustle just feel totally worth it.
It's true.
I remember like the first time my son looked up at me. I remember it. I was breastfeeding him and he just looked at me and he stopped. He stopped. He took he took his mouth off and then he smiled. Oh.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. Now he's grown and running around. They won't even look at me.
Oh.
do you remember?
I mean, enjoy every single moment
Yeah.
from them being like babies, little to like enjoy every single moment because every stage when you can't even, you know, some of the
when
things.
you call them, they'll say, "Mommy, I'm busy watching Peppa Pig."
Yes. So enjoy them. Any stage.
Yeah.
Even from but even from like first month to 6 months, you know, they're still very calm.
Yeah.
After 6 months, they don't even stay on your lap for like 10 minutes to breastfeed.
Yes.
Because they can now crawl, they want to show skills. So 5 minutes, no, they are gone.
Yeah. And they can decide when you're sitting down there minding your business, they can just come and try to just take their food. Like they see you walking around, you just look like food.
Yes.
You just look like food. So they can just come and then they can stop. Like yo,
taking off your
But it is a very beautiful experience, and one of the things I'm really grateful for is the ability to breastfeed my child, and you know that you're giving nourishment to your child. So even when you're eating, you know that okay, I have to eat well because what I eat is what the baby eats. And so I have to eat well, and then by eating well and eating a very well balanced diet, I will be feeding my child good stuff. And it's actually one of the ways, or one of the reasons I started eating well. I stopped drinking all of the sodas, and I stopped eating junk food when I was breastfeeding, because I felt that okay, if I'm breastfeeding and my child is eating what I'm eating, I need to eat like my greens, my kontomire. I need to eat well so my child can get good food. And so I'm grateful for that. And I never looked back. I actually stopped eating meat and stuff. And I never looked back. So I'm really grateful for that. But if you can like look back and say one thing you're very grateful for being able to breastfeed, what would it be?
I think it's the bond. It's the bond I have with my babies. And because of that, it makes me, you know, nostalgic whenever I'm about to stop breastfeeding. That's how come I can go all the way to 18 months, you know. After their last immunization, then I just stop. Because I feel like, okay, you've taken your last immunization, I can now stop breastfeeding you.
Actually, that's what you need more, because they're not getting the extra. I breastfed my first son also for 1.5 years. He was walking and I was still breastfeeding him. My mother said, Madam, it's okay. And so for my second, I think we went up to about 10 months. And then he himself, he wasn't interested anymore. So I just let him go because he was a grown man and he could fend for himself. What's one thing you're very grateful for being able to breastfeed?
For me, it's whereby you wake up, you breastfeed the baby without thinking about cleaning or feeding bottles and all that, you know.
That thing is the whole ceremony.
Because if you don't do it well, it's another problem.
The child will get sick.
So
washing the bottle, boiling it.
Yes, I know.
So sanitizing your hands, the surfaces.
Yes.
Charlie.
So
buying sterilizers and all those gadgets and stuff.
Don't I know it? Yeah. That's true.
Yes.
When you're breastfeeding, you don't have to worry about all that stuff. Because I didn't like washing the bottles. I thank God for my sisters because they always washed it. Because you have to wash it and wash it and boil it and sterilize it. I didn't really sterilize. I was always boiling because that's what I saw my mom do when we were growing up for my little sister. So I'd always boil it, and it's a lot of work, especially when you use a lot of bottles, and even your hands before you touch. Hey, we've done work. I guess you're still doing it. Sorry.
Well, for me, I just breastfeed. I don't express.
Okay.
I just give her the breast, just that.
Why am I even asking you? You have milkmaid. You are milkmaid. Do you have women coming up to you to tell you how it's working for them?
Yeah, I do. A lot of them. A lot of women.
Okay. So are you some kind of a lactation consultant now?
On the side, I'm training to be professionally.
Well, that's good.
On the side, I do give advice. You know, a lot of people don't even really know how to use the breast pump. There's so many things we don't know. There's so many things. So I do give advice. Yeah. So.
Well, go you. Anyway. It's been a very revealing conversation with both of you. I'm learning even about the fact that oats and salmon. I didn't know about salmon. Oats and salmon can help you produce more breast milk. For breastfeeding moms who are listening to us who just know the C-top because it's hard, what would you say to them?
Don't give up. It's hard, but it's worth it. And anything that's worth it, you know, you just have to learn about it. It's not that difficult. Just get a bit more information about it and you sail through. Yeah. And Milkmaid's got you. Yeah. And for those who are just Charlie, for those who are having a good time doing it, I guess you just encourage them to keep going on.
Yeah. And it's the only time you can bond really well with the baby. So, you know.
And get help.
Yes.
Because the more help you have, the less stress.
Yeah. I know.
And you can produce, you can produce more milk for the baby. Breastfeeding is very important. It's hard, even if you're producing all the milk you need. Even having the time, the back pain, the sitting position, the right breastfeeding bra and outfit to wear can make it all seem difficult. But breastfeeding is great for your child. In fact, doctors recommend that you breastfeed your child exclusively for 6 months. So if you can do it, definitely do it. If you can't, do what you can. If you can't at all, well, keep your child nourished. That's what matters really at the end of the day. And so, Charlie, keep doing you, and then remember that breastfeeding doesn't come naturally to all moms. So if you're you know a mom who's struggling through it, just encourage her and don't, guilt trip them, because that can lead to all kinds of depression. I've been hanging out with Elikem and Aligina. We've been talking breastfeeding, and we have lactation cookies here, which I'm going to eat. Would you like some? Because it's not just for breastfeeding, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. Anyone can have some from Milkmaid. My name is Naa Ashorkor. Thank you so much for watching. We got this, Africa.
Although it's far, make it no give up. It only makes us stronger. Whatever you do, do them well. Make it no worry. We go stay okay, we go be alright. No, Inyami, go chichino. Inyami, ban your face. Inyami, walk on jano. Kenya fe, oh ban your face. Inyami, go chichino. Inyami, ban your face. Inyami, walk on jano. Kenya fe, oh ban your face. 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 We got this. Kenya fe, oh ban your face.
Saturday nights just got better.
With unimaginable excitement.
10 toes, one girl, make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Ow, ow, yeah.
The most heated rap battles.
Squad for the work, me soldiers, but on your campo, Bema.
After you menace ready, it be me with the top. Godzilla self chop, who be King Kong.
And of course, your A-list celebrity interviews.
I've always said this though, there can only be one Bob Marley, so definitely there should be one episode.
Me? The threesome.
Torafu wa comedy woman nede. Yeah. Nyansa. Don't fuck. Lighter.
With myself, Oforua.
I'm Jason Alay, and I do this with the man, DJ Varosky.
Why the party there today? Hey mama, hey I ever say. Angelina, you be cool in my temperature. If you call,
say cheese, take a picture. Shaka pose, make a see, take a picture.
in the leg book, boah. Why the party there today? Hey mama, hey I ever say. Shake your body.
Playing the best music on the planet.
Flexi, dripping the checky. We girl now, I'm gonna text you one. Okay, now I'm gonna dress you one. No corner boom.
Yeah, black.
I'm rocking.
Yo. Abutra kwa ma preme onda dabita. Mikwa na minim dia me kwanti ma shobia o manika. Ya mani we dia makasa manya ude de se dikanika. Abutra life me kwa dia me koda ne samisa. I was working on myself for my bread. 2, 3, 4, now me go. Yo, yo, yo.